V by Nikolai Gogol. Horror novella. Part 5. He went down the steps and saw a kibitka. This was an ordinary Krakow vehicle. He was awaited by some 6 stalwart and sturdy Cossacks, no longer young men. Jackets of fine flannel with fringe showed that they belonged to a considerable and wealthy owner. Small scars bespoke their having once been to war, not without glory. No help for it. What will be, the philosopher thought to himself, and addressing the Cossacks, said loudly, "Greetings, friends and comrades." "Greetings to you, master philosopher," some of the Cossacks replied. "So I'm supposed to get in there with you? A fine wagon," he went on, climbing in. The Cossacks considered they had the right to keep silent on the way. The philosopher had a great desire to find out in more detail who this chief was, what sort of character he had, what this rumor was about his daughter, who had come home in such an extraordinary fashion and was now dying, and whose story was now connected with his own, how it was with them, and what went on in the house. He addressed them with questions, but the Cossacks must have also been philosophers, because they smoked their pipes and said nothing in reply. Only one of them addressed the coachman sitting on the box with a brief order. "Keep an eye out, Averko, you old gawk. When you get near the tavern, the one on the Chukrailovsky road, don't forget to stop and wake me and the other lads up if we happen to fall asleep." After that, he fell rather loudly asleep. However, these admonitions were quite superfluous, because as soon as the gigantic wagon approached the tavern on the Chukrailovsky road, everybody shouted with one voice, "Stop!" Besides, Averko's horses were so used to it that they themselves stopped in front of every tavern. Everybody got out of the wagon and went into the low, dingy room. They all settled around the table. A clay mug and several pork sausages appeared for in front of each guest. The philosopher Khoma had to take part in the general feasting. The whole place was soon filled with kissing. "Well now, Spirit, give us a smack. Come here, Dorosh, till I embrace you." One Cossack, who was a bit older than the others, with a grey moustache, rested his cheek on his hand and began sobbing his heart out over his having no father or mother and being left all alone in the world. Another was a great reasoner, and kept comforting him, saying, "Don't cry, by God, don't cry. What's this now? God, he knows how and what it is." The one named Dorosh became extremely inquisitive, and addressing himself to the philosopher Khoma, kept asking him, "I'd like to know what they teach you at the seminary, the same as what the deacon reads in church, or something else?" "Don't ask," drawled the reasoner. "Let it all be as it has been. God, he knows how it should be. God knows everything." "No," Dorosh went on. "I want to know what's written in those books, maybe something completely different from the deacon's." "Oh, my goddy God," the comforter said, and lowered his head to the table, because he was quite unable to hold it up on his shoulders any longer. The other Cossacks talked about landowners, and why the moon shines in the sky. The philosopher Khoma, seeing this disposition of minds, decided to take advantage of it and slip away. But when the philosopher decided to get up from the table, his legs turned as if to wood, and he began to see so many doors in the room that it was unlikely he could have found the real one. Only in the evening did this company all remember that they had to be on their way. Scrambling into the wagon, they drove off, urging their horses on, and singing a song the words and meaning of which could hardly be made out. After spending the better half of the night rambling about, constantly losing the way which they knew by heart, they finally descended a steep hill into a valley, and the philosopher noticed a palisade or wattle fence stretching along the sides, low trees and roofs peeking from behind them. This was the big settlement belonging to the chief. The story continues in part 6.